Let us start with the real question, not the function names. Imagine the business asks us to rank providers by paid amount. Most of the time that sounds easy. Biggest amount is number one. Next biggest amount is number two. But then real data walks in and says, hold on, we have two providers have the same exact paid amount. Now we have to make a business decision, not just a SQL decision. Should both providers share the same rank? Should the next provider become rank 3 or rank 4? Or do we want every row to receive completely unique position no matter what? That's why this lesson matters. Row number, rank, and dense rank are not three random functions that do almost the same thing. They answer three different business questions about ties. Row number says, I do not care about sharing rank. Give every row a unique position. If two rows tie, one still becomes 2 and one becomes 3. Rank says tied rows share the same rank, but the next rank leaves a gap. So we can get 1, 2, 2, and 4. Dense rank says tied rows share the same rank, but do not leave the gap. So we can get 1, 2, 2, and 3. One important warning before we go to SSMS: if the business wants ties to remain ties, do not accidentally hide the tie by adding extra tiebreaker too early. Tiebreakers are great for row number when we need one exact row, but for rank and dense rank, the tie itself is often the whole point. We are going to keep this practical. I will use healthcare claims and provider paid amounts, but idea is universal. It applies to customers, employees, accounts, products, students, authorities, and any report where tied values can happen. The sentence to remember is this: the right ranking function depends on how the business want to treat ties. Let's go into SQL Server Management Studio and make the difference obvious. Let us start with the real problem, not the function names. The business has a provider leaderboard. Provider 1 is clearly first, but two providers are tied at the same paid amount. Now we have to make a business decision. Should those tied providers share the same rank, or should SQL still assign different row positions? That decision is the reason we have a row number, rank, and dense rank. I'm using a small inline data set here on purpose because I want the tie to be obvious before we go back to the larger claims table. Now let us put all three functions side by side. The data is the same. The business ordering is the same. Highest paid amount first. But watch what happens when two providers tie. Row number still gives unique positions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Rank, let us the tied provider share rank number 2, but then it skips to rank 4. Dense rank also lets them share rank 2 and but does not skip. The next provider becomes rank 3. This one result grid is the whole lesson in miniature. Row number is the right choice when the business needs a unique position. For example, choose exactly one first place provider, or keep exactly one row per group, or select one latest record per member like we did in video 5. Even if values tie, row number will still produce one row number 1, one row number 2, and one row number 3, and so on and so forth. That can be exactly what you want if the business needs one row, but it can also be wrong if the business says tied rows should be treated equally. Rank is different. If two providers tie, they share the same rank. In our example, two providers share rank 2. Because two providers occupy that second place position, the next rank becomes 4. That gap is not a mistake. It is rank showing that there were two rows ahead of the next provider. This is useful when the business wants a traditional competition style ranking. Dense rank also let tied rows share the same rank, but unlike rank, it does not leave a gap. The tied providers both get rank 2, the next provider gets rank 3. That's why the word dense matters. The ranking numbers stay packed together. This is useful when the business wants rank groups instead of competition style skipped positions. Now let's move from the tiny teaching data set to the real claims table. We summarize claims by provider ID. We calculate claim count and total paid amount. Then we rank providers by total paid amount. Depending on the data, there may or may not be natural ties. That's a normal. The important part is that the same ranking functions work on the real provider summary. This is closer to what you would do in analytics report. Sometimes real data does not give us clean ties exactly when we want to teach them. So here I'm doing something intentionally practical for learning. I'm rounding provider totals into paid bands. That creates groups of providers with the same rounded values. Now the difference between rank and dense rank becomes easier to see. This is not saying you should always round for production ranking. This is a teaching trick to make tie behavior visible. In real work, the ranking expression must match the actual business definition. This demo is where ranking function becomes a business decision. Suppose someone asks for the top three providers. That sounds simple. But what if there are ties? Row number less than 3 or equal to 3 gives exactly 3 rows. Rank less than or equal to 3 includes tied rows based on a competition rank. Dense rank less than or equal to 3 includes top 3 dense rank groups. These are not just technical differences. They can change how many rows the business receives. So before writing the filter, ask what top 3 really means to the business. Let us turn this into a practice challenge. The business asks us to rank providers by claim count. Before choosing a function, we should ask if two providers have the same claim count, should they share the rank? If yes, should the next rank skip or not skip? That decision tells us whether to use a rank or dense rank. If business needs exactly one provider in each position, use row number with a tiebreaker. Here I show all three side by side so you can compare the behavior. Let us finish with a simple decision guide. If you need exactly one row per position, use row number. If ties should share the same rank and gaps are okay, use rank. If ties should share the same rank and you do not want gaps, use dense rank. That's the whole mental model. Do not choose the function just because it looks familiar. Ask what business wants to happen when rows tie. That question will usually tells you the right function what business want. Let us close out this with a mental model because this is where people usually mix up the three functions. Row number always gives unique positions. If two rows tie, one still become 2 and another become 3. That's useful when you need exactly one row for each position, like detuping, picking one latest record, or forcing a single top row. Rank respect ties. If two rows tie for second position, both get rank 2, but the next row becomes rank 4 because positions were skipped. That is useful when competition style ranking where gaps matter. Dense rank also respect ties, but it does not leave gaps. If two rows tie for second place, both get rank 2 and the next row become rank 3. That is useful when the business wants clean rank groups. First tier, second tier, third tier. So do not memorize this as syntax only. Ask the business question. Do you need unique row position? Then use row number. Do tied rows share rank and should gaps remain? Use rank. Do tied rows share rank and should there be no gaps? Then use dense rank. One more warning before we close. When you order by column can tie, add tiebreaker only if the business truly wants unique ordering. If the tie itself matters, do not accidentally hide it by adding extra columns too early. For example, adding provider ID to the order by for rank can destroy the tie and make rows look different when the business wanted them to be tied. In the next video, we'll move into entire and talk about dividing rows into buckets, quartiles, and practical segmentation. Thank you for watching Data with Srini. Keep practicing, keep querying. I will see you in the next lesson.